Alright, what's up, guys? It's been about a week since my last little mini rant video, I guess you could call it. I like calling them talks, but some people like calling it rants because they say I just yap, which is true. I do. It's kind of fun. However, I figured it was high time for another one, and this one is going to be on my thoughts about the current leaderboard system and how I like it. Because I've had a lot of people ask, do you like this new one? Is it better than the old one? Think it's good? Etc., etc. And honestly, it's pretty good. It definitely has some issues with it, like certainly several issues that need to be addressed. However, for the most part, it's pretty good. One really big issue I have with it is I don't know how true this is, but supposedly if you're top 100, you're supposed to get a decay game, like a game of like pretty much all zeros at the start. However, I don't know if that's true for everything because I swear these escape artists and veteran adventurers and treasure collectors, these guys aren't getting decay games. However, killer outlaws definitely are. But I don't know if it's only for killer outlaw because they never said that. I don't know if it's only for killer outlaw or if it's for everything. But is what it is. However, I do think this is it's arguably better and it's also arguably worse than the last one. It just depends which side you're on. Because for example, this is, I think, probably the biggest thing about it is for the old leaderboards, let's say you entered a lobby and it was a dead lobby, right? Let's say the game started with like 5 out of 16 or 15 people. I think it's 15, right? Like, let's say it started with 5 out of 15 people. Okay, at most, you were going to get 2 kills that game, right? And that didn't sure, at best, you could only gain 2. However, you weren't going to actually lose anything. Because, let's say you had 100 kills, not getting the other 10 kills in the lobby isn't going to take you down 10 kills. No, it's just you're only going to go to up to 102. However, now, because it's average kills per game, if I queue up and I get a dead lobby, let's say Repose queues up, his average killing rate's a 5.6. So if he queues up and he only gets 1 kill because he only loaded in with one other person into the lobby, then his rate's going to go down, and there's literally nothing he can do about that, which really, really sucks, right? And I mean, that's the case for literally everyone. Like, for the most people, if you're all the way down below, 3 to 2 kills, per, it's probably not really going to matter that much because the chances you get the chances you can't get 2 to 3 kills in one lobby is very, very slim. And it will happen. I've had it happen probably 2 to 3 games. I've had a couple games where I've only had around 3 to 5 extra people in my lobby, and then you have to try to find them before they die to PvE, or if they're solo rogues before they get out because they're just going to insta-take blues. So it's definitely kind of difficult. However, with that being said, I do think this is a bit better than before. One really nice thing is pretty much you see how the average top 100 is only a 1.8, right? This is really low. These guys are not even averaging 2 kills a game. So the thing is, if you're one of those players that's really, really good, however you don't play that much, you can still pop up on leaderboards very easily. Top 50 is only a 2.4, 2.48. That's very, very easy to get if you're just playing the game counter casually. You see a lot of these players like Narek or Xenophobia. Well, actually, I think Xenophobia played a good bit, but Narek's a really good example of Narek's a really insane player, right? However, he's not putting that much time into the game anymore, but as it were, so he usually wasn't high on leaderboards. I think last leaderboards he probably finished. I don't even know if he was in top 100, but because he didn't get that many kills. But now you see he's rank 4, even with not playing that much, just because that's how it works. Because he's averaging a lot of kills per games, even if he's not playing that many games. And you still see a player like Repose, who is pretty much rank 1 last time. He's still rank 1 here pretty convincingly. He's got an entire 0.4 lead over the next guy. And with how many games he's played, this is actually a pretty big lead. This Sparks Val guy has dropped. Repose has only climbed because he started a 5. He's still a 5.0, I think, on the dot. So, yeah. I mean, I think, like I said, I'm not sure if decay games are affecting these other things or boss killing. I don't actually think it's affecting boss killing. I'm almost positive Helis has had 0.900 and had a 735 here for literally since he placed. I don't think he's played a game since he's placed on his Bard. But obviously I could be wrong about that. Maybe it's a bug or something, who knows. However, they have said these leaderboards probably aren't, well, they said this is a temporary leaderboard that they're getting data for to implement on their next rank system. And like I said, I don't think this is bad. I don't think this should stay. Let's just go ahead and do that. While I do think this is better, I do not think this is good enough to stay how it currently is. if I had to choose between this one and the last one for like a temporary, like let's just say it's just temporary, obviously, because they're working on actual like a rank system is what they said. We don't know what that means. They said they're working on a new rank system. But if I had to choose between this one and the old one, I would probably take the old one. The reason being is you honestly, in a way, you get punished for playing once you get a high enough score. Like right now, like I said, like Helis or Repose or any of these people that are rank 1, like you pretty, especially if there's no decay games affecting some of these. Like Escape Artists, these guys should literally never play another game if they're getting decay games. But yeah, like I said, you're pretty much being punished for playing once you're really high ranking. Also, one really, really big issue that, well, it's an issue and a benefit in a way, is if you look at streamers, once again, I will take Repose as the perfect example here because he's obviously one of the biggest Dark and Darker streamers, and he's also going for Killer Outlaw, which is specifically why this matters. For example, like Veteran Adventure and Treasure Collector, this won't matter, but specifically for Killer Outlaw. Repose, obviously, when he's playing, he's streaming, he's got 2,000 people watching him usually, and the thing is, he's always really, really geared, and the people he's playing with also very, very geared. So more often than not, and like some of you are going to be like, nah, that doesn't happen. I promise you it does. I've seen this firsthand. More often than not, most of the people that not necessarily are insanely geared, but pretty good, pretty geared teams are going to be dodging his games intentionally. It's not like he can do anything about that. He can't control it. Like eventually they're going to see that he's in game as long as he's streaming, and they're going to dodge his games. So more often than not, some of these players that are all like, leaderboard players that stream, they have a lot of good players, geared players dodging their lobbies. So more often than not, they end up with these like usually very, very low geared lobbies or very, very completely naked rogue lobbies. And sometimes they're easier to kill, sometimes they're not. Or, they just end up with pretty much nobody in their lobby at all. Like everybody dodges them. Like I've seen that happen several times. It's just, and the people that are in your game can literally just watch your stream and avoid you as hard as they want to because they can see where you're out on the map at all times and they can just run around and dodge you. Obviously, if you're playing with stream delay, it's a bit different, but that's, that's a different story. It lowers chat interaction, all that stuff. And so, like I said, if they do that and, he only averages 2 kills a game for 5 games, that's going to bring his killing rate down a pretty significant margin. I'm not sure exactly how many games he's played, but, if you drop that, like if you get that, like that low, it's going to bring you down a lot. And yeah, this is an issue with, like I said, this really only matters for Killer Outlaw. This doesn't really matter for the others. I mean, like you could get like, people could like try to snipe you and grief you, but that's an issue no matter what. And that's one thing about the old leaderboard. It's a good and a bad thing on the old leaderboard is, doesn't matter if you do bad, you can't lose points. Which, like I said, I mean, it's a good thing if it's something you can't control, like you get a dead lobby where there's no one in it and you have no choice, but you can only get like 1 kill in that lobby, right? It's a good thing there. However, it's a bad thing if you just go in and you just die 7 times in a row because you're playing bad, or like, because better players kill you or whatever it is and you don't lose any points there. Like, for example, in the old leaderboard, if I have a 1,000 kill lead, there's no way anyone's ever going to beat that, right? However, on this one, if I have like a 2 kill lead, I like have a killing rate, if I play really bad or if I just don't play, like it's going to drop my score and people actually have a chance to catch up. This one incentivizes you actually continuously playing well, as good as you possibly can, getting as many kills as possible. However, the old one just incentivizes you getting as many kills. Doesn't necessarily mean playing good. You get to play as dumb as you possibly want, and as long as you're getting those kills and making it out, even if you die a couple times, it's no big deal. Like if I get one lobby where I get 10 kills, and my next game I die and get 0, I didn't lose anything, right? Like I lost the gear, but I didn't like lose any of my kill. I didn't like lose any of my points for the ladder. And this brings me to what I want implemented. Obviously, this is a system. I mean, it's not that I want an MMR system implemented so much as, I mean, this is an idea that's been thrown around a lot between a lot of people, and yeah, I'm sure you've heard about it. Is like a bounty system of sorts. Pretty much what this just means is, like, let's say I kill somebody on the leaderboards, right? Let's say I kill Marvel, right? This guy's rank 6, 4.8 killing rate, high rank, very high rank, right? I should get more points for killing Marvel than if I killed, like, Perry, too. Like, I should get way more points for killing the guy that's rank 6 than if I killed the guy that's, like, a rank 101, right? And that would be really cool. And so, but this brings it to the issue of, like, oh, like, like, that's, like, an MMR system. Like, do you want, like, a MMR-based matchmaking, like a skill-based matchmaking? No, I don't want that. I think that's really bad. However, I do think that, a lot of people's issue with leaderboards is, oh, like for like, kills. Because honestly, when I say leaderboards, I don't care about the rest of these. Veteran Adventurer, Treasure Collector, Escape Artist, Boss Slayer, I literally do not care about any of those other ones. They are irrelevant to me. The only one I care about is Killer Outlaw. Because it's not that I have a problem with the others. All the others are like PvE based, and I don't really care about PvE for this game. My main thing in this game is PvP. It's why I love this game, and it's why I keep playing it. But anyways, the issue a lot of people have with leaderboards, like a lot of people, is they always say, which they're not incorrect to say this. They always say, oh, leaderboards doesn't mean anything. It's just like a race to see who can kill like more naked people, right, or more no-geared people, which is true. 90% of kills, maybe even more, maybe 95% plus of kills that you're gonna have for your leaderboard ranking is just gonna be very, very low-geared people that you just ran around and one-tapped. And obviously, like, that's not great. Like, if you have leaderboards, you do want them to mean something. You don't want to just be, oh, who ran around the fastest and killed the most nakeds. And I don't like, and you can see it just by looking at it here. Look at the classes on the top of the leaderboards: Rogue, Barb, Rogue, Bard, Barb, Wizard, Barb, Ranger. The first fighter, by the way, rank 15. Wizard, Barb, Fighter, Wizard. Like, looks, I am ranked 17 overall, right, for killer leaderboards. Let's look at Barbarian. Let's look what rank I am for Barbarian. I am rank 10 Barbarian. So in the top 20, over half of them are Barbarians. I think over half, right? Or am I wrong? Let me see. Yep. Over half of the top 20 are Barbarians. There's 11 out of 20 of the top 20 are Barbarians. And the reason that is because what these leaderboards rewards, and also you see a bunch of rogues up here, what these leaderboards reward is how fast you can move around the map and kill people before they either die to other players or before they die to PvE. And obviously, you see, the thing is, it's like this leaderboard's intended to, like, oh, you don't have to play a ton, which is true, you don't have to play a ton. However, if you're not playing a specific style, you can't leaderboard effectively. And that's the thing here is a lot of people have said this. Like, if you ask a lot of really good players like what they think, they'll probably tell you this, is if you want to grind leaderboards, Killer Outlaw once again, if you want to grind leaderboards, you have to play the game incorrectly. What that means is you literally have to just sprint around the map and hunt people down. You can't take strategic points and, like, hold one spot. Like, you can't hold Shrine Room. You can't hold the middle of Coliseum. You can't do any of that. Because if you do that, all your kills are going to go to other people or they're going to die to PvE. You literally have to just sprint around the map non-stop and wipe teams before they can die to anything else. And if you don't do that, you cannot grind leaderboards. For example, for the most part, I've done that. But in other games where I have really geared lobbies, I'll make the smart play and I'll, like, hold Shrine Room, or I'll hold a strategic point, or I'll hold Zone, and look at my rating. Like, it's not low. I'm ranked 17 right now in the world. Like, that's a pretty good rating. However, compare me to the people at the top. I'm nearly 2 full kill average down from the guy in second and third. Like, I'm 0.8 down from the guy in 10th. And the reason is all these players, what they're doing is they are just sprinting around the map, wiping lobbies as fast as possible with just no care for playing the game, like, correctly. And the reason I say correctly is because, I mean, when I say correctly, I mean how the game is intended to be played, which is a slower game, which isn't, like, how these people are playing. I mean, that's, like, whatever. It's not like it's not like I'm saying it's wrong or, like, for them or anything. Well, technically I'm saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong for them to do it. If they're trying to grind leaderboard, it's the correct way to do it. But outside of leaderboard, most people don't play like that. Most people aren't just fucking running around the map full speed, running down nakeds, right? And that's the thing, is that's what you have to do. Like, some of these players, you have to chase through the zone for a minute to catch them. And because it is the best play you have. Like, normally when a naked rogue runs into the zone, right, you're like, oh, whatever, not chasing that. If you're doing leaderboards, you better chase after him, because that's one kill. That's one more point for your average you have to chase down. And I've done that. I've literally chased a naked rogue to the zone for a minute and a half before I finally killed him. And that's unfortunately how it has to be played. But anyways, back to what I was saying. I don't even know how I got on what I was talking about. Back to what I was saying about the bounty system. I think a bounty system would be really good for this game. One of the best things it would do is it rewards you for fighting geared teams, right? Like, let's say, like, obviously you still get points if you're killing a bunch of geared teams because they're dodging you. However, if you're playing the game intelligently, like I said, like, like you're playing the game smart, you're holding zone, you're not running around the map, and you're, like, fighting these really geared teams and you're beating them, you're getting more points because, on average, these are probably higher ranked players. You're getting more points for killing them than if you were just sprinting around the map wiping naked lobbies, right? Which is really good. It's a really good system, and incentivizes good play, incentivizes careful play, and then you can actually contest with these people that are running these super fast buff ball comps around the map when you're playing something like Fighter, Ranger, Cleric that is much, much slower paced, obviously. But yeah, other than that, I don't really have much else to talk about on this topic. I mean, I'm sure if I thought about it, I could, but right now I don't have anything. They did say they're implementing it they're just doing this for a new rank system, and I'm actually really curious what they're gonna do, because obviously an actual rank system comes with its own issues. Once again, one thing no one wants that I know for High Roller is no one wants skill-based matchmaking. That is not fun. The thing is, right now we already have the issue of lobbies not filling up, which one big issue with how current lobbies work is the game has multiple simultaneous lobbies, and if you don't know what that means, is pretty much they will start like 10. Let's say they start 10 lobbies together. They won't fill up one lobby and then move on to the second one. They will fill all 10 lobbies up at once. So that's why, for example, like if I queue up and you queue up at the exact same time on the same server, there's no guarantee we get in the same game. I could be put in a game that's 3 out of 15, and you could be put in a game that's 3 out of 15. Because that's just how they do their lobbies, and it's really nice because it helps sniping, helps people stop sniping as much. However, it also makes it so, like, let's say I get a game with really good geared people. The game ends, we all get our similar time, we all queue back up. We're not going to get in the same game. Or if there's a bunch of geared people queuing all at the same time, we're not always going to get in the same game. We could get in 10 different lobbies together, or however many lobbies they have. But yeah, that's another issue with how the lobbies currently works. But yeah, no, we don't need skill-based matchmaking. That's definitely not needed. However, I am looking forward to whatever new rank system they cook up. And like I said, I don't think this one's the worst. It definitely benefits people that don't play as much. However, in my opinion, that shouldn't matter. Leaderboards is always leaderboard grind should always it's always going to be people that play more. Like, you shouldn't get rewarded for not playing, right? Like, I mean, I think it's cool because it shows obviously some of the better players, like, but if you're not playing, like, what right do you have to be on the leaderboards? I feel like it's kind of, I guess it's kind of an elitist take, but at the end of the day, who cares? It's like the people that are rank 1 are very rarely ever the best players in the game. Not saying these players aren't all good. However, it's being high on leaderboards always requires two things. It requires skill and it requires time played. The rank 1 player is always the best player who plays the most. So, I don't think catering to people that aren't grinding leaderboards like actively should really, I don't really think they should be up there. But alright, that pretty much sums it up for the video. If you enjoyed, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you have any opinions on this on your own, or you disagree with anything I said, as always, feel free to comment down below, and I will do my best to respond to you. Until next time, peace.